Alright, we are here today, French's Lake, in the upper delta. This is our footage from the Mobtown August tournament, August 26, 2023. Best 5 bass over 12 inches. Getting started this morning with a Shimano World Pop. If you've watched many of my videos, you know I love starting out with this popper. It walks really nice, got a little spitting action to it. That flash boost sheet really seems to get nailed. So it's always a solid pick to start out. Lines in is at 6 a.m. Right now it's just like 6:01, and you can see that the daylight's not really up good, so this camera doesn't record too well in this low light, but I think it does pretty good for this first fish I'm about to get. I'm just throwing this popper along this high bank here and just walking it out a little bit, stopping, walking it out a little bit, stopping, and I'm going to get struck right out in the middle. Alright, that fish feels pretty solid too. Alright, that is a good way to start the morning. Nice little bass, looks to be over 15 inches. Let's see how long it is. That one will go 16 and a half, and the time on my phone is 6:05 on this picture. Tournament hasn't been going 5 minutes, and I've already got one scoreable fish. Let's let this guy go and get right back to it. So this guy is a little bit stunned when I let him go. I haven't had him out of the water very long, but I touch him with that paddle, and I can see he's starting to wiggle a little bit, and gets a little acrobatics, and then on his way he goes. Alright, we just got our first bass. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes, I think, somewhere in there. Sun's gotten up a little bit, the footage is not so grainy, looking pretty nice. Still working that popper, throwing it around all this down timber, and just seeing what I can get. I've seen some fish kind of striking the water, just trying to get number 2. So you got to make several fan casts and work that popper good around all these little nooks and crannies and these sticks and down logs and timber and such, because they can be hiding anywhere in there, and if you don't put it right in front of them, they may not come out and eat it. Alright, that was a good strike. Seems like that one's definitely going to be over 12. It's a good way to start the morning. So we've got 2 fish in the boat. Let's get a measurement on this guy, see how long he is. Good little healthy 14-incher. Nothing too huge, but that is a great way to start off the morning. And I believe catching these fish early is going to be key, because the high for today is 101 Fahrenheit. And it feels like it's going to be that already. It's pretty hot this morning. But I'm trying to get at least 3 or 4 fish on top water early, and then I'm going to switch over to either a swim jig or an Arma Joint. But my plan's working out so far. I'm trying to fish both ends of this lake where the current kind of draws down. There's a canal that goes out towards the river, and then later I'm going to go back way up the creek if I don't get 5 in this canal. But right now I'm trying to work in this canal where this water's flowing through here. Man, that fish hit it as soon as it hit the water. Is this guy going to be over 12? Let's see. Oh, I think he is going to be over 12. He's not huge, but I think he'll go over 12. Let's see. Alright, 13 inches on the nose. It's a good little healthy fish, just like the 14. It seems like there's some healthy fish stacked up in here. get this guy back in the water and get right back to fishing. So I'd come in here about a month ago, and the water was like a little bit higher, not quite a foot, probably about 6 to 8 inches, and I was able to get deeper back into this canal, more towards the river, but this time the water's lower, so I'm running into more obstacles, so I'm not going to be able to go as far back as I would like to, so I'm going to have to turn around a little bit prematurely, but I've missed a few fish coming up through here, so I'm just going to turn around and fish my way back out. And this happens. Wasn't that a great strike? That fish hit the mess out of it. And he flip-flops off. I don't think he would have went 12, but he was very aggressive. But it's always good to make that same cast again in case there's another one hanging out. Yeah, and this fish is not going to hit it as aggressive as that first one, but you can see he hit it a little bit. And this doesn't feel like a very big fish. Let's see, will he go 12? This tournament also has a small fish category, so smallest fish under 12 inches. So for that category, you want the smallest fish you can get. So either way, I might be able to use this guy for something. Let's see how big he is. He is 11 inches, so I can enter him in the small fish category. Let's get this guy released, and away he goes. Alright, so I'm going to do an about face and then go back past the ramp and go way up the creek a pretty good ways. This water's still low, so I'm going to have a little bit of a time getting through here. It's always a little bit of an adventure, but we're going to get through it. So if you've ever kayaked in any kind of shallow water, you may have done this trick right here. If you haven't, this is a great trick to get you further into places. You do the old ski pole trick. You break your paddle in half, and you just heave ho, and you just walk on through there. Although I must say, whenever I was about 50 or 60 pounds lighter, it was definitely easier, but I can still get it done a little bit. The boat just sits a little bit lower these days. We've managed to ski pole back up through the shallows. Now we're back in a little bit deeper water, still working that popper on the edges. I'm seeing some fish kind of roam the shallows here, but I haven't had any bites. I'm still trying to get these clear water shallow fish figured out. They're a little bit different than the river fish. Alright, and here we got one. That guy hit it as soon as it hit the water. He was just kind of cruising one of those flats, I guess, and he didn't like that popper in his zone, and he smashed it. And this guy will definitely be above 12, and he's fighting hard. Alright, let's get a measurement on this guy, see how long he is. He will go 14.25, and if you're keeping up, that's 4 fish. I've just got to get one more fish. It's still early. Life's good. Just got to stay calm, get that last fish, and then try to upgrade. Pushed further up the creek. Still throwing that popper right now, but I'm going to give it a break for a little while. And now I'm going to switch over to a Bama Hammer Swim Jig. If you've never used one of these, it's just a 3/8 ounce swim jig, got a pointed head to it. I'm using kind of a brown crawl color, and for my trailer I'm using a net bait PACA chunk, 3-inch. In this next scene, look to the left of the screen and you're going to see a bass jumping on a dragonfly. It's kind of cool. Were you able to catch it? You may have to rewind it and look again. You can see the bass kind of sploosh out of the water, and you can see the dragonfly fly off. He missed that one. That happens several times in this little corner. The plan for fishing this swim jig, I'm going to throw it out, let it hit the bottom, and then just slowly swim it back. And then on some casts, I'll throw it out and swim it kind of high in the water, just figuring out what the fish want. Alright, so as soon as I pull this rod tip up, I feel thump, there's a fish on there. I'm going to set that hook. Hopefully I stick him. Let's see what he is. He's definitely a bass. Let's see, will he be our scoreable fish? Our fifth scoreable fish? Yep, that's him. Let's see how long he is. So now we've got 5. We can breathe a little bit easier. Whew. That's he is 13 inches. So good little way to finish out 5. Now I just got to focus on upgrading. Let's get this guy back in the water. Swim jig definitely seems like it's going to be the way to get bit, because I wasn't fishing that thing very long at all and I got that thump. Let's see what else it can do. Alright, there we go. We've hooked another one, but this guy feels like he's hung up on something. Whenever I give him a little slack, he pulls against me, so he hasn't gotten off yet. I'm highly expecting this fish to come off at any point in time, but I'm just going to ease my way over there to him and see if I can at least get my jig back when he comes off. But he hasn't come off yet. Every time I put slack in that line, I just feel something pull against me and go doo 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 doo. Let's see. Oh, he come off. Okay, that's a pretty good one too. That looks like it's about the same size as the first one this morning. Let's see, will I get him? There he is, right in the net. Alright, let's see how long he is. Let's see. Let's get that guy on the measuring board and get our photo. 15 3/4. So that is the second biggest fish of the day. Hoorah! This little bend in the creek here seems to be loaded with fish. I've caught 2 in it in no time. I'm going to take that swim jig back and just work all around, fish the deep hole as best I can with that swim jig, and just trying to see what I can get. Just throwing it out, letting it hit the bottom, reeling it a little bit, shaking it sometimes. Alright, we got a bite. You can see that line tense up, set the hook, and we got him. He doesn't feel like he's too big, but he would be a scoreable fish if we needed him, but I don't think he's going to help us too much. Let's see. Yeah, so we measured that guy and he didn't help us, so we're just going to ease him back in the water. And now I'm going to make a bait change. This swim jig, I caught a few others that were about that same size. I'm switching over to the Shimano Arma Joint. I've been using this lure lately, and it seems like it usually catches a bigger than average fish wherever you're fishing. I'm just going to throw it out, give it like quarter handle turns, pretty steady, and it just makes it walk back and forth and kind of glide a little bit. Doesn't go too far under the surface, just maybe a few inches. And this thing really gets smacked everywhere I've taken it. So let's see how it does here. Couldn't really see it in the video, but I had a few small fish following that glide bait. And if you fish one for any length of time, you'll have that happen. A lot of fish will follow it, and then once you run across an aggressive fish, they'll just come out of nowhere and smack it. Oh, I watched that fish come up out of nowhere and just nail it, just like I was saying earlier. He's not a very big one, but gosh, he was ferocious. It's it's one of those things where whenever you see them with that pretty good sized bait, they can't get it in their mouth, so they end up just kind of having it outside. outside of their mouth. Sometimes it'll be on their stomach, sometimes the top of the head, but we got this guy in the net, so let's see how long he is. Maybe he'll help us. Alright, 14.25. That'll be a good healthy fish. Good little upgrade. Put him on back in the water on the other side of the boat. If I dropped him in on the left side, he'd be in a sand pit. Got him back in the water. Checking my picture out. Looks good. Let's get right back to it. We're going to be going back down the creek now. I didn't do too much with that Arma joint in that hole. There's some fish that I kind of passed over the first time up. I may have spooked them, or they missed the top water, or what have you, but I'm going to go back through with this Arma joint and see if I can't catch them now. Right, just targeting those dark holes on the far side of the creek. Right now the far side of the creek is going to be the left bank, but it can change. Just had something tap that Arma joint. Let's see, tap, tap, tap. Oh, I got him. What is he? It's doesn't feel, oh my goodness. Can you see that? The bait is just about as long as the fish. Wow, well, it's a good thing this tournament has a small fish category. 9.75. Normally I would just kind of laugh and chunk him in the water, but this fish could be some dollar bills right now.
Just got a 9.5. Maybe that'll be big enough for small fish. Caught it on the Arma joint. Big old 7-inch swim bait.
Alright, we're approaching another kind of little deep hole off to the left, you know, about the side where that downed tree end. There's a little deep drop off, and sometimes the fish will like to hang out in there. I missed a couple on my way up on the popper, and I'm going to try that Arma joint down here now. Just see if I can get anything to thump it. Targeting this bend up here. Deep hole continues on that side. Real. Oh, I got a fish. He immediately hit that Arma joint. Come on, let's get him in the boat. I need this guy for the tournament. I need him. Got to get that net. Oh my gosh. You have got to be kidding me. That fish literally got off at the boat. So we fished down past the launch a little bit. Didn't really do anything with that Arma joint. I had to leave the water about 1 o'clock. That way I could get back to a place with cell service to try to submit my pictures. This is just footage of me approaching the area where I launched and unlaunched at. This is a pretty good trip. I caught a lot of fish. For the tournament, I was able to get second place and small fish with that little 9 3/4 incher. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I really do appreciate you watching. If you've never been to French's Lake or you would like to fish one of the Mobtown tournaments, I highly recommend both of them. Thanks for coming along with me. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already.